You know, after 60 years of watching people wrestle with their own hearts, I've learned this simple truth. Healing never happens when you're trying to force it. Most of us spend our lives chasing an end, the end of pain, the end of fear, the end of what hurts. We try one practice after another, hoping that if we do it right enough, long enough, the ache will finally disappear. But the more we demand relief, the more our hearts tighten like a fist that refuses to let go. I've seen this with my students and I've lived it myself. When I was younger, I meditated to fix myself. I wanted peace to arrive as a reward, but peace never came that way. It came the moment I stopped asking for it, the moment I simply sat, breathed, and allowed myself to be alive without expecting anything in return. Zen masters have a saying, a flower doesn't bloom by force. It opens when the time is right. Your healing is the same way. You can't rush a flower open with your hands. You can only water it, tend to it, and wait in quiet trust. So if you're watching this today, let this be your invitation. Stop fighting for a finish line. Breathe, feel, be here. Healing begins not when the pain ends, but when you finally stop running from it. You know, I've spent many years listening to people talk about their pain, physical pain, emotional pain, the kind that keeps you up at night, and I've come to believe something that might surprise you. Pain isn't here to punish us. It's here to speak to us. Every ache, every tightness, every restless thought, it's a form of language. The body and the heart have their own way of saying, something needs your attention. But most of us were never taught to listen. We silence the pain with distraction, with medication, with endless noise. We run from it, hoping speed will save us. But healing begins the moment you stop running, when you pause just for a breath and ask softly, "What are you trying to show me?" That question changes everything. Suddenly, the pain is no longer an enemy. It becomes a guide. It points toward imbalance, toward an old wound, toward the part of you that's still waiting to be understood. When we observe pain without fear or judgment, something remarkable happens. It begins to soften. Not because it disappears, but because we finally make space for it. In that stillness, understanding grows. So tonight, instead of fighting what hurts, try listening. Place a hand where it aches and whisper, "I'm here." You can speak now. Sometimes that gentle acknowledgement is all your body has been waiting for. You know, over the years, I've realized that the simplest medicine we have doesn't come from a bottle, it comes from within us. It's the breath. The breath is a bridge quietly connecting body and soul. Most of us take it for granted, rushing through our days, barely noticing that gentle rhythm that keeps us alive. But your nervous system, it listens. It listens to your breath far more than to your thoughts. When your breathing is shallow and quick, it believes you're in danger. But when you slow it down, inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6, your body hears the message, you're safe now. I often tell my students you don't need to control the world to find peace, just your next breath. Because in that breath, something shifts. The heart softens, the shoulders drop, and the mind begins to quiet. So tonight, wherever you are, just sit for a moment, close your eyes, breathe in slowly, hold, and let it go even slower. Feel the calm unfold, not because you forced it, but because you allowed it. That's the power of conscious breathing. It's not about escaping life. It's about finally arriving in it. You know, the older I get, the more I realize that gratitude isn't something we think about, it's something we live. This body of yours, it's been with you through everything. Every storm, every heartbreak, every sleepless night. It's carried you when your spirit was tired, when your heart was heavy, when your faith ran thin. And yet it never once gave up on you. Even in pain, even in illness, it keeps breathing, healing, trying. That, my friend, is devotion. Each night before I sleep, I rest a hand over my heart and whisper, "Thank you for staying with me." I don't say it to be poetic. I say it because it's true. That simple act of acknowledgement changes something deep inside. Gratitude isn't just a nice feeling, it's energy powerful enough to rewire the brain, to soothe the nervous system, to invite healing where resistance once lived. So tonight when you lie down, take a breath and thank your body for showing up, for carrying you, for still believing in you. You don't have to fix it, just honor it. Healing doesn't always begin with medicine. Sometimes it begins with thank you. You know, I sometimes look around and realize how fast we've all learned to live. We rush through breakfast, rush to answer messages, rush even in our sleep, as if the next moment were more important than this one. But speed, my friend, is the new sickness of our age. When every minute becomes a race, your body forgets what safety feels like. The nervous system stays on high alert. Your breath shortens your shoulders. Stay tense, and slowly your heart forgets how to rest. That's when exhaustion and pain begin to whisper. But there's another way, the quieter way. Slow down. Eat slowly as if the taste itself were medicine. Walk with awareness as if the earth were supporting you with every step. Wake up softly, not with alarm, but with gratitude. You'll notice something almost magical when life moves gently. Your body starts to hum a different tune, calm, steady, alive. Healing doesn't always come from doing more. Sometimes it comes from doing less, but with presence. So today, tell yourself, I choose to slow down to heal. Say it not as a command, but as a promise. Because when you finally stop rushing through life, life itself starts to take care of you. You know? The longer I live, the more I see how deeply nature and healing are intertwined. The body, after all, is not separate from the earth. It is the earth rearranged into your form, yet we've built walls of noise screens and concrete that keep us from remembering that truth. When I walk outside early in the morning barefoot on the grass, I can feel my heartbeat syncing with something older, the rhythm of life itself. The sun doesn't hurry to rise. The trees don't force their leaves to grow. Everything in nature unfolds in perfect timing. And when you allow yourself to slow down and breathe with it, your own energy begins to reset. The body heals best when it feels connected to the ground beneath you, the wind on your face, the quiet cycles that remind you there's a time for everything, for growth, for stillness, for renewal. So step outside. Let your feet touch the earth. Breathe in the morning air like medicine. Watch how the world around you heals without struggle, and let it teach you how to do the same. Because healing doesn't happen in isolation. It happens when we remember that we're part of something larger, something beautifully alive. You know, after 60 years of listening to people wrestle with their pain, physical, emotional, spiritual, I've noticed something they all have in common. They're so hard on themselves. We live in a world that teaches us to push through, to keep going, to be strong no matter what. We grow up thinking that rest is weakness, that tears are a failure, that slowing down means we're falling behind. And so when life breaks us open, when the body aches, when the mind feels scattered, when the heart grows weary, our first instinct is not kindness, it's judgment. We say to ourselves, I should be over this by now. I need to fix myself. I can't let anyone see me like this. But my friend, that very voice, the one that scolds you for hurting, is often the reason the healing doesn't come. Because the body and the heart cannot bloom in the presence of hostility. They soften only in the presence of love. When I was younger, I thought compassion was something you gave to others, to the sick, to the poor, to those in need. I didn't realize it was something I had to learn to give to myself. And believe me, it took time. It took years of falling apart, of fighting against my own fatigue, of trying to meditate the pain away before I realized the simplest truths. Healing doesn't come from trying to be perfect. It comes from finally allowing yourself to be human. When you start treating your pain not as an enemy but as a wounded friend, something extraordinary happens. The war inside you begins to end. You see, compassion toward yourself is not indulgence. It's not laziness. It's wisdom. It's the quiet understanding that you cannot heal while hating the part of yourself that's hurting. When you speak gently to yourself, truly, gently, you send a message deep into your nervous system. I'm safe now. And that single message changes everything. The heart rate slows, the breath deepens, the muscles release their grip, and your body begins to trust again. You might think that sounds too simple to be real, but after decades of guiding people through mindfulness and Zen practice, I can tell you this: the body only heals when it feels loved. Not when it's analyzed, not when it's fixed, not when it's disciplined into obedience, but when it feels loved. So how do you practice compassion for yourself? Start small. When you wake up and feel tired, don't rush to label it as failure. Just notice, I'm tired, and that's okay. When your back aches or your mind feels foggy, don't ask, what's wrong with me? Ask instead, what do I need right now? Rest when you need to. Eat slowly. Step outside and breathe. Forgive your pace. It's not a race, it's a rhythm. And when you fall short, because you will, we all do, resist the urge to punish yourself. Say softly, I'm learning, I'm still here, and that's enough for today. There's a beautiful thing that happens when we start living from self-compassion. The healing expands outward. You begin to treat others more gently too. You stop demanding perfection from your spouse, your children, your friends, because you've stopped demanding it from yourself. The peace you offer yourself becomes the peace you offer the world. And that's how true transformation begins, not through spiritual performance, but through quiet honesty. Sometimes I sit with older students, men and women in their 60s, 70s, and they tell me, I wish I had learned this earlier. And I tell them, you're learning it now, and that's exactly when you were meant to. Because compassion doesn't keep track of time. It simply waits for you to come home. You know, Zen has a saying, the softest things in the world overcome the hardest. That's what compassion does. It softens what life has hardened. It doesn't erase the pain, it simply changes the way you hold it. When you hold your pain with tenderness, it begins to unfold like a knot gently untangling. You stop asking, why me? And start whispering, may I be kind to myself through this? That shift, that small, quiet shift, is where healing begins. Sometimes people ask me, but what if I don't know how to love myself? What if I've spent a lifetime doing the opposite? And I tell them, start the way you'd start a conversation with someone you've hurt, but still love. Be honest, be gentle, and above all, be patient. You don't have to force love. You just have to stop withholding it. Put your hand on your heart right now as you listen and take a breath. Say to yourself, I am doing the best I can. I am learning to forgive myself. I am worthy of kindness even when I fall short. These are not affirmations for the mind, they are medicine for the soul. Each time you say them, you build a bridge back to yourself. And remember, this compassion doesn't mean you stop growing. It means you grow differently, not from pressure, but from peace. Not from punishment, but from patience. You begin to see healing not as a task to accomplish, but as a relationship to nurture between you and the part of you that's been waiting for love all along. That part doesn't need fixing, it needs your presence. In my years of guiding others and stumbling through my own lessons, I've come to understand that the greatest act of courage is not endurance, it's gentleness. To be gentle with yourself in a world that tells you to be relentless, that's not weakness, that's mastery. So if you take nothing else from this message, take this. Be kind to yourself. Speak softly to your pain. Rest when you're tired. Forgive your pace. And remember, healing isn't about becoming perfect. It's about befriending your humanity one breath at a time. When you do that, the world inside you and the world around you begin to change slowly, quietly, but unmistakably. Because compassion, my friend, is not just a feeling. It's the rhythm of life itself, and it's been waiting for you to remember.